Okay, as promised, here's your bonus. The bonus way of going about collecting your thought leadership voice. So the other way to do this is so far what we've done is we've shown you how to go about capturing your expression as a thought leader on this topic from the perspective of writing an article. You could go about it in the reverse way as well. You can go about this first seeking to create a podcast or something, a video or something like that. And then from that podcast, you can then craft your content from that podcast. Transcription, you can take the transcription and you can turn that, you could follow the same processes to create something of tremendously good value as something, a webpage article content that can rank at the top of Google. And so if you started first from the podcast, I'll show you how I would approach getting my podcast thoughts together. So this comes from, and I use this when I'm getting ready to give a talk or whatnot in church. If I've got a little sermon I want to preach, a little impreachment, that's when I give my talks. I prepare things in the same way here. So you've got, and this comes from a book. I'm going to have to figure out how to reference this book. It's something about like how to give persuasive, how to speak persuasively, or how to share. I don't remember what the book is called. But it's basically how to deliver an idea effectively. So you've got your cornerstones here. And your cornerstones, if you could take a look at this page here, you've got your point of view, you've got benefits that the listeners would receive for taking those action steps. Got to take into account your listeners. Who are they? This is the DNA: demographics, needs, interests, attitudes. So who are they? What do they need? What do they want to know about the subject? Well, we know what they need and we know what they want because we have the keyword phrase, and we know the related questions. We know what's wanted. And how do they feel about the subject? You can visit that. So who are they? You know your target. And what do they need? What do they want? So this listeners, you get the listeners data from the keywords. And then the action steps. What is the general action you want your listeners to take? So as a takeaway, so what? I like the so what question. Every meeting that you have, it's so helpful. If you've got a business at the end, so what? If everyone can say, so what's your takeaway? And that would be ideal if everybody were to give a one-liner, so what? What's your takeaway? Here's what I'm going to do after this. Here's what I got from this. So there's the general action step and then a specific action step. And you want to make sure that is according to SMART goals. So SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Have a specific time frame. So point of view, I changed this a little bit because I like the idea of there is a state that they have and of where they're at, maybe a problem or a situation, circumstance, or a thought or a feeling or a current result that they currently have. And we want to lead them into a desired state. So we have A is where they currently are, B is where they want to be or what is wanted, and then you have the arrow that goes between the two. And so you want to capture that as here's where the state of A is, and here's where B is. And so you want to share your point of view real simply. I also love to use metaphor if possible, something visual to help kind of anchor something in the listener's mind to hold on to that you can reference then at the very end, something visual. So, and so that's, anyways, point of view. You've got something persuasive that is, here is where you are, here's what you want, here's your problem, here's the solution, right? Or here is, anyways, you get the idea. So then that's the cornerstones. And then from those, you just want to brainstorm. You want to get as many things out as you possibly can. Don't censor during that step. You get everything out, and then you cluster those ideas. And so according to this book, what they were saying is you get all these out on sticky notes. And you put all those sticky notes out on a table, and then you figure out how to group those into groupings. And so you want to have like kind of a main theme that these would fall under. And so then when you go about the actual delivery, where you compose your talk, you have an attention getter at the beginning. Maybe if you're giving a talk, maybe it's a joke that you help. Then you share your point of view. And then you've got your general action steps. And then you share the benefits of those general action steps. And this opening it doesn't have to be that long. It could be really short, but what you're doing is you're respecting the audience's time, and you're showing them that your content is worth consuming. So that's the opening. So here's how you compose it. After the opening, you've got your groupings here. You know how we were talking about your groupings? So every single one of these, so you've got key point, subpoint, subpoint, subpoint. Each of these are those sticky notes that I was talking about. When you're getting all of your ideas out, you want to organize it into a coherent body, but then you want, sort of those ideas to be grouped together, right? If I have a story about what it feels like when you fail building a business, that could be one of the subpoints. And if I have a feeling what it feels like when you succeed and have that thrill of accomplishment, that could be another subpoint. Anyways, the body it consists of these main points that you make, and maybe you only make one main point, and then you have some supporting things underneath it. And then you have your closing. And the closing, again, you restate your point of view, and you then go into more of a specific action step. So specifically, if you want to expand your network to start a business, as one of the first steps to actually get into building a business, and you want, and if that is one of the first steps, is to expand your network with somebody who can be an ally and team up with you to help you build your business. Well, then the next step is to reach out and send Tyson Bradley a message on his website, TysonBradleyCoaching.com. And the benefit of doing that is you will have somebody who is tried and true and trust that you can trust to guide you along that path to building a successful business. And so that's the closing. You want to basically sandwich it. So you've got your opening, and then you've got your closing, and you sandwich the meat and potatoes in the middle. And so as we're looking at, we're creating this content here. A podcast is very similar in that at the beginning, here's why you want to listen to us. Here's what you're going to get from it here. And we get it, we understand, and here's where to begin, the first step. And maybe I could even say a little bit more of the benefits in here. So starting a business, if you're looking to escape, so that's a benefit. So right here, benefits. So I need to maybe put a little bit more of the benefits of starting a business. Okay. So you could take the same approach and you could add some additional value into your rough draft with the same idea. Or you can just create a podcast, like I said, and from that podcast, you then take the meat and potatoes of your actual podcast message, and you rework that into an article. So, anyways, that's kind of a little bonus is how to go about it the reverse way, how to create something that you convey first, maybe in a podcast form or video form, and then from that you can then create an article from that. So for example, me showing you how to do all of this, I can then take this video, transcribe it, I can hand this off to a writer who can then take the essential elements of what I'm talking about, and they could create a step-by-step guide, and that could even become its own web page on how to create the most rankable content online, like the most how to do content creation that ranks at the top of Google. So, anyways, that's kind of a bonus is approaching it from a very organized. Create your podcast first and deliver it just like you would with a church talk, and maybe record a video of yourself doing that, and then take the transcription of that and then turn that into your turn any of that meat and potatoes that you get from that into an article. So that's another way of capturing the meat and potatoes, your value as a thought leader. And there you go. That's hopefully quite helpful. If your business is already at 2.5 million or more, we invite you to check out our 10x Accelerator program at 10xflowseo.com, where we can work together to help you reach 50 million or over 100 million per year. If you're not yet at the 2.5 million per year, then feel free to like and subscribe to help keep applying all this video knowledge, our entire playbooks designed to help you get to 2.5 million per year for free.